Brothers in Tech is a weekly podcast focused on personal and home technology, helping provide you, our fellow brothers and sisters in tech, with some information, assistance, and recommendations.
Hello. Welcome to Brothers in Tech, your weekly podcast for home technology. This is, we are here on the Mesh.tv podcast network, and I am, well, it's an important day. I am your host, your only host today, Brian Jackson, one of the brothers, one of the founding brothers in tech. Unfortunately, those of you who came to see Alan Jackson are going to be sorely disappointed. However, all of those of you have been emailing me to say, I really wish you'd get your older brother off the podcast. Well, today is your lucky day because he's not going to be here. However, I'm going to try to bring in a guest to join me today. And unfortunately, as typically happens with technology and also when I'm running the show, we're having tech issues. So we'll be bringing the guest on in just a little bit to see if we can get him to join us. But first of all, I'd love to welcome all of you here. This is exciting. It's exciting for a couple of reasons. One, as I said, because well, we're going to see how many times I can screw this up today, going live without Alan. And two, it is a Bits episode. And we are always excited about doing the Bits episode. I think Alan's probably super disappointed about missing the Bits episode. But you know, if you can't be here, then you don't get to play. So the Bits episode is our Brothers in Tech suggestions, where we're going to bring you some of our services or apps or products that we would like to suggest for you, kind of do a bit of show and tell, and tell you why we like them and why we think that you either ought to use them or give them a try, and we'll see if we can convince each other to hopefully jump in on those new ideas. So we'll get a chance to share those today. As I mentioned, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with our guest. It's funny. I wish you guys could see what I'm seeing right now, which is I can see our guest in the background over here. I've got him in the on stage, ready to come on, and I see him continuing to try different things. I'm actually going to try to pull him in here, and let's see how this works. See if we can actually get the volume to work. So I'd like to bring in our guest today. Bill, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep. And I can hear you, but we're getting a little bit of delay with your audio, but that's okay because I heard you and the sound was there. So let me give a quick intro. Bill Kerrigan, who, if you are a listener of the show or a viewer of the show, you may have seen and heard from Bill a few weeks ago. Bill was with us. Bill is a customer service supervisor here at Pacific University. And for those who don't know, I'm also at Pacific University out in Forest Grove, Oregon. Bill and I have worked together for many years, and he is the one of the IT people and the help desk coordinator, guru extraordinaire, all those fun words. So he's the person we go to when we have technology problems. Unfortunately, he's the one that has had technology problems today. So there we go. Bill, how are you, man?
Doing well. Unless something goes weird. So,
well, I'll tell everybody we've been here with Bill for a couple of different streams. I can actually see he's still on his laptop where he originally started, and I think he may have moved maybe to to his mobile device. Yeah. So Bill's kind of coming in a couple different ways, and we'll see if one starts to go bad, then we'll move to another. So Bill, I have to tell you, you're the only person. You are first here today. One, it's the first time that Alan has not been there, that I've actually had a guest. Last time I did it on my own, I recorded it. It was pretty easy going because I could have stopped and re-recorded if I wanted to, but going live with Alan was a bit daunting today, although I think it's going swimmingly so far. But also you're the first person that's come in outdoors, which I'm very impressed by, right? You've got a beautiful background. That is truly outdoors, right? That is not just a faux background, right? You are really outdoors.
We are in Civic University, and I'm just showing you guys that it's a lot less distracting.
All right. Well,
very distracting.
Yes, can be, right? You've got a lot of things. Those who are watching or listening on the East Coast right now, it is a little later, but here on the West Coast, we're 5 p.m., so we've still got a little bit of light behind Bill. And Bill, we still do have a little bit of audio cut in and out, but as we get going in a little bit, we'll see, when you get your bits going, we'll see if that clears up when you take over the mic. So let me just remind people, our bits episode, which since Alan's not here, I will take his place and say that this was the brainchild of Brian Jackson, the younger of the two brothers. I came up with bits, which of course is just genius if you ask me. It's the Brothers in Tech suggestions. We do this we try to do this every month. It gives us a little bit of a break of bringing just new random topics to the table, but rather get a chance to do a little show and tell, and potentially hopefully introduce you guys to a new service, a new product, maybe even a new app or a new website, something that we think you should check out and why. And so as we go through that, we'll do some sharing. We'll talk through some ideas and question each other on our picks to see kind of who wins the day. But so Bill, we haven't had a chance to kind of prep for this because we've been kind of teching back and forth. But how about, if you're okay with it, I'll start us out today and basically get the groundwork laid out here so that you get a nice model to model after, or at least to improve upon. So, I'll go ahead and tell you, Bill and I do not know what each other has as our bits today. We're hoping that we're not sharing the same thing, which I don't think will be the case. So I personally am going to present two different applications, one of which is a service, but I'm actually going to talk about it more from the app side. And the other is a app that provides a service. So a service that has an app and a app that provides a service. So I think what I'm going to do is start with kind of the easy one. And it's easy because I have to admit, I think I've probably presented this one before, but maybe for different reasons. And so I'm going to actually, and for those who have listened to the show know that Alan and I are huge fans of this service. And we have been using it probably since its inception and since its launch many years ago, and we continue to do so. So I'm going to present in my first bit YouTube TV. And again, if you've heard the show before, you may be rolling your eyes right now and saying, okay, you've talked about this many, many times before, which is true. I have talked about YouTube TV because I've been using it for a number of years. But today I want to talk about the fact that the app itself, I think, keeps getting better. The app, as well as the access on web browser on a computer, also seems to be getting better. So I thought I would share a few of those things and why it's continued to get better. Mainly because I think that for those who have been on the fence about cutting the cord, going from the cable world to potentially a streaming world, and people who want live TV, I think this is to me is still the best option that's out there. So I want to give it a little bit of props, but also some of the improvements that it's done. So I'm going to share with you my screen here for a second, and let's see how well this works. See if we can get this going. All right, and you'll notice here that I'm gonna share. This is another window on my computer. So my second window over here, I have an additional monitor going. And the reason I'm showing you this rather than showing the window itself, I'm showing you a whole nother monitor screen, is because of what YouTube TV has recently launched with some of its web browsers. So first thing I'll mention is I am accessing YouTube TV here on a computer on Firefox. So I'm using Firefox browser to access YouTube TV here. It works on many browsers. I tend to use it on. I have used it on Safari before. Use it on Chrome, which is what we're actually recording through here. But with Firefox, Firefox has actually started to do something pretty interesting. So for those that aren't aware, I'm showing you kind of the interface here. So I'm sliding up to show you as if I was watching a game right now. And I'm not going to play the game because I don't know about all sorts of issues with me sharing this, sharing the actual activity here. But as you can see, I scroll down and now I'm looking at the channels for what is available to me here in my market. So you'll see that I have ABC, CBS, all of these things available to me. So here's what's kind of new, right? Normally you could do this. It's been the case all the time that I could have a show up here. I could be having it in a window, maybe on another monitor while I'm working and watching live TV or watching something that's recorded. You'll see at the top here, there's a library, which are all the things that we have recorded. And for those that don't know, YouTube TV allows you unlimited DVR. Now, technically, it's not really a DVR because what it's doing is it's still staying on the cloud. It's just basically saying, oh, we're going to put that over in your library. It will expire. It's not like it's a downloaded thing. But these are all the shows that we tell it, oh, go ahead and record that so we can come back to it. The home button here in the middle, and this is the way all of the apps tend to work for YouTube TV, is showing you what it thinks your top picks are, what it thinks you ought to be watching right now, whether that be recorded things or live things. And you'll see that they're actually kind of rolling live right now. And then there's also the live button, the live tab, which allows you to see what's on right now. Now, here's the thing that's new, okay? So you'll notice that I'm going to move my cursor around while the video normally would be playing. I have it paused right now. But you'll see over here on the right, the bottom right of the screen, there's a little call out button. And I don't even know what it's called when you roll over it. But this is the button that I don't see if I use it on Safari, and I don't see it. I don't believe if I use it on Chrome either, although I'm not sure I've checked the Chrome. But if I do this, you'll notice what happens. It actually throws the video very similar to what mobile apps are doing now, what the iPhone's doing when you're watching your YouTube and you slide the video to the side. This now becomes a floating window, and that window can be resized, okay, which allows just me to have the video up itself, no controls, right? If I want that floating over small while I'm doing some additional work, it allows me to be able to do that, and I can exit that window off, and it goes back to the main screen so that I can shift around and watch in the way that I normally would do. Okay, so that's one of the advancements it's made, which I think is fantastic for those that want to use it in a computer situation. I'm also going to show you very quickly, and let's hope that this works. I'm going to show you from the mobile side how that has changed as well. Okay, so now I'm actually in the mobile. Okay, so you're actually seeing my my phone screen, and for those that are just listening, I apologize. I'll try to walk you through it. But I'm actually showing you a what looks to be the screen of my my phone. So you can see that I'm kind of scrolling through here, and at the top, at the bottom, you'll notice I have the same three tabs. I have my library, I have home, and then I have live. So you can see that I'm doing the exact same thing that I was doing on the web browser. So I'm going to go back to that exact same game, click it. Now you'll notice you won't be able to watch it because this is one of the things about sharing the mobile app on a stream like this. It won't show you the video. If I was unplugged from the computer, you'd be able to see the video right now. But what's really cool is that it's gotten to the point they have progressed the app. So if I press play, and again, normally you would be seeing the video up top there. And if I swipe up from the bottom, you'll notice that now I have a window that is actually playing. Okay, you can't see the video, but you'll see that this is where the YouTube video would be. I can actually pinch it and make it smaller. I can kind of have that window hanging around. So I could be doing something else, reading my emails, and still having the YouTube TV up in the corner. This was something that could not happen a few months ago. It was one of the problems that Alan and I actually mentioned a while back on this podcast, was that we really wish that YouTube TV had a way for us to just listen, maybe while we're in the car, listen to something, or be able to have navigation on in the car and still have maybe a game playing in the background. We don't need to watch it while we're in the car, but we certainly need to be able to listen. And you couldn't do that because if you pulled up another app, it would stop the audio of YouTube TV. Well, now we can actually pull this up, put it to the side, and I could go and pull up my maps. I could be navigating while still having the screen, or at least the audio still playing. So I'm gonna give a plug for YouTube TV that I know I've done a number of times. They have gotten more expensive since we started. I think Alan and I started when it was maybe $30 a month, $35 a month. It's now up to about $65 a month, so it's expensive. It's back to cable levels. But what you get out of that, the ESPNs, the sports, the live local networks, all of those things, plus being able to access it in a number of different ways, really makes it, I think, fantastic and a great option for people that are looking to cut the cord. So that's going to be my first bit. It's a great service. I have to admit, when they went up to $65, I think they continue to progress. When they made that last push to $65, I thought for a few minutes about, okay, this is crazy. I'm going to go find a cheaper option. Every other option I tried, I just did not like the interface. I didn't like the features. There was always something that didn't add up. So I'm stuck with it, but it's certainly, if you're someone that goes in and clicks and says, record this, save it for later, it's a fantastic option. So, Bill, do you have any live streaming services right now?
I have many.
You have many, okay.
Cutting out again.
Okay, good, yeah. Tell us a little bit what you do have and why.
So, tell this to me, but I have YouTube TV.
Okay,
you're absolutely correct.
Good.
It's a fantastic. If you like live sports, Fubo, Sling, Tubi, there's a few others they don't cover the same breadth as what YouTube. And so that's the thing, is like, $55 gives you everything you're going to want. Get rid of other services because of it. It's a great one. Hulu's got to have I'm going to bring forward a service for you guys that I think is fantastic, but for a different reason.
Okay.
Like,
all
it
right.
has
I won't make you give it.
So.
Yeah, I won't make you give it away quite yet. But yeah. So I'm glad to know that you're also a YouTube TV believer, because that validates why you're on this show right now. Because I think we'd probably kick you off if you didn't believe in it. But of course, we would love to to have some sponsorship. We get no sponsorship whatsoever for YouTube TV, but they're welcome to reach out to us if you want us to continue to sing your praises. But just lower your price, right? It would be great. Lower your price a little bit and you'll keep me forever, right? Just give me a nugget. So
yeah,
but I think it's fantastic.
$15 is all it needs.
Yep. Nope, I'm with you. Yep. Drop it down a little bit, if it was 50, because again, I don't know, Bill, if you were a cable person before, but cable obviously got to where for most people you were in the 100 range, or you were at least close to 100 if you were going to have some decent options. But the ability to go 65, and quite honestly, I think Alan and I have talked about this before. If I had to if I had to keep one service, that's the one I would keep right now because it's the one that's unique for all the others I have. I mean, I have Netflix and I have access to, HBO, HBO Max, that sort of thing. I could get rid of those and I'd still have plenty of things to watch and plenty of things to engage in. Now, I wouldn't get the new things, but you can go on and tell it. I mean, I didn't show you my library, but anytime I see a movie that I like, I'll just say, oh yeah, save that one. I'll watch it again later, right? And of course, I've got probably 50 or 60 movies on there that maybe I don't go and jump into because I've got them other places. But I think it's a really, really good service. And I would say, I'm a big stickler when it comes to user interface. And I think the user interface is really, really good, at least better than the others that, I've tried recently. It's also really good on Apple. The Apple TV box is really good on Roku. Some of the others that I've engaged in, they have a nice, clean interface that they use. So I'm a believer. So that's my first pick of the day, and it sounds like I've already gotten you to buy it. So that's great. It's almost like I'm winning already, right? That you bought it before I even brought it up. So awesome, right?
Yeah.
I'm up one. I'm up one, Bill.
Works.
Okay. All right, Bill. So, well, we're having still a little bit of audio issues with you, but what I'm going to let you do is kind of start into your first, and you did share with me some links that if you'd like me to bring one of those up, please let me know, and then I can I'll try to put that in the background, and if I have any trouble with audio, I'll kind of pause you and maybe have you repeat some things. But why don't you go ahead and tell us what your first pick of the day is?
Let's start with the Anker Power Bank.
Great. All
Just
right.
have you put it up there.
I will.
Yeah, so-
I'm excited just seeing this.
Yeah, like when you have this technology-wise, it's going to carry 3 cables. My bag is like because I have to bring so many things. What this little guy here does, basically, I think it's like maybe 10 or 20 what the charger is for, like your USB. It's a tablet charger. It has ports, so like you can plug your like phone charger, and then when you're at to the wall, feeds the power right to you. It's now
okay. So actually,
power bank.
Bill, let's repeat what you just said there. So that was kind of an important piece. So you're saying when I plug this into the wall, and then I have any sort of device plugged in the front of it, that it bypasses the battery and goes straight to the wall. Is that what you're saying? Or no?
It's going to power your device first, and then anything extra, it'll charge up the battery inside
gotcha.
and then once you unplug, a topped off battery, depending on how long you've used, and then you can take that with you, and 2 or 3 different charging, and for $100 bucks a day. And I think that's like in the last 2 months gone, this is the one thing that I need, because I know how my life works, but an iPad and a phone want something
right
like this.
Right.
It's
okay, Bill.
powerful
let
enough
me
to
let me do
charge
this
your
real
computer.
quick. I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna remove your other Bill Kerrigan because I've got you in the background for your other device here. I'm gonna remove that one just to see if that clears up your audio a little bit here. We'll keep you on where you are. I'm just gonna remove that for a second. And so there was a little bit of breaking up that was going on there, but I'm gonna kind of sing the praises with you here. So basically, if you didn't catch everything that Bill was presenting for us, this device is a power bank, gives you battery backup, and allows you to plug different devices in to charge. So it's a backup battery. And Bill, I'm gonna ask you real quick here. So I'm assuming that looking at the picture here, I'm gonna zoom in a second. Looking at this picture, it looks like probably that circle is going to tell us maybe the amount of charge that's left in the battery device. Is that right? Like those
Correct.
four little lights maybe. So you look at that and you see it's still got 4, so that means you have however much charge still left. I mean, this is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery charger, which is a pretty hefty battery charger. But what I love about it is you said that it allows a USB-C connection, right, to be able to go in. A lot of those that I have, I even thought about, quite honestly, I was prepared to bring a battery backup or a battery backup charger today, and I'm glad I didn't. But this one certainly is much better than the one that I was going to present, because it's got USB-C connection. Also, I love the fact that, so the size-wise, Bill, this is probably the size of a MacBook brick, something like that.
Yeah, the traditional brick.
Okay.
It's about the same volume, rectangle though.
Okay. So if I click through some of these pictures so that folks can see, okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
scroll,
nice. Yeah.
And you'll see there's a little mock-up. There we are. This thing. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Is it? Yep.
You know, right there. Yeah.
Yep.
What it looks like when you're using it.
Yep.
Exactly.
So you've got it plugged into
like.
you got it plugged into the wall. You've got 3 devices here that are plugged into it. USB-C to your laptop, USB-C to the phone, and then also maybe a USB-A that's to your AirPods or something else, and they're all charging simultaneously, correct? And they're going to be kind of sucking down the battery, and then at the same time, it's continuing to pump in charge. So this is actually doing multiple things, right? This is the kind of nice part. It is being your plug into the wall, where you only need one plug into the wall, but it's also being your backup charger if you don't have an outlet to the wall, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's that utility. Most things you want it to have, and this thing, and Anker's done a great job of niche of, powering your line. Really get in there to make it.
No, I think it's they've done a fantastic job, and it's a company I like. I've had a few of their devices in the past. I've never had a battery charger from them, but I mean, I certainly would trust it because of the experiences I've had with them. So here, just for folks, these are some of the stats that it's providing, saying that an iPhone 13, it's going to provide you 2.1 charges. That means full cycles. So if you're totally dead, you could charge it up 2 times and a little bit more if need be on this one. But again, if you're close to so I guess Bill, in your case, if you're close to an outlet, you're going to plug this thing in. It's going to continue to stay trickle charged. You can then plug your devices into it while you're close by. When you pull away, now you have a battery bank to be able to take with you, right? So I think that's super slick. And some may be thinking $99 is a little hefty when it comes to a battery charger, but when you're talking about replacing your outlet or your brick that goes into the wall, plus you're going to replace your the battery backup, I think that's actually pretty solid. So I'm in. I'm not quite sure I'm ordering right away, so I'm not going to give you the win on that one just yet, Bill. But I'm very impressed here, and thinking that this is kind of a nice feature. For those that have these, you probably have been in a position like I have. For example, I'm going to stop that screen for a second. So one of the things I was going to potentially present was a really small backup charger for my phone. Okay, and this one just has one USB-A on the outside. So that just means I could take it with me, I could put it in my pocket, and I could recharge my phone if I was out maybe on a hike and my phone was dying, and I could plug it in. But in order to actually keep this charged, I need a whole nother cord and then a whole nother brick to go into the wall to plug this in, just like you would any other device. So I need more, right? Whereas you could slide yours in your pocket. Now it's a little bigger. You slide yours in your pocket and you all of a sudden have everything. Oh, yes. Look, we got a friend. Oh, we could have brought JoJo in. So that was our good friend Joe, who see the beauty of live, right? The beauty of live streams here. We have people popping in all the time. This is great. Fantastic. All right, well, Bill, okay, good job. Good job.
I try to start strong at least.
Well, okay, that's good. So now that doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence on your next one, but let's go ahead and move to my second one. So as I mentioned before, so my first one was a service where I really was kind of promoting the apps, which was YouTube TV. My second one was going to be an app that provides a service. And so let me paint a scenario for everybody and tell you why I went looking for something like this. And actually, Bill's going to appreciate this because he works in this space probably every day for different objectives. But so recently, I had started playing. So I'm not a gamer. I'll go ahead and be upfront about that. I'm not a gamer. I don't tend to play video games at all, other than I do like kind of really quick, mindless, free, by the way, I don't tend to pay for games, free things that I can play. Like, for example, a simple little block game, or I'm someone who started playing Words with Friends a long time ago and would use that as a way of just kind of mindlessly doing something pretty quickly, but not paying for anything. But I don't know, and I'm going to use that as an example. I'm not sure if anyone has played Words with Friends lately, right? That kind of went away for a long time. And one of the reasons it went away is it became an entity where they started to put tons of ads in their game. So if you had the app, you pulled it up, you couldn't even play a word and get to the next screen without sitting through maybe 4 or 5 ads and 4 or 5 videos that you did not want to be sitting through. And of course, we've talked about it before. That's the downside of not paying for an app, right? If I go and I download a free app and I say, oh my gosh, this is great, I get to use this and I don't want to pay for it. Well, a lot of places will give you free apps, but they'll offset or supplement their free app by ads and say, well, great, you get it for free, but you also have to sit through our ads so that we can pay for what we're doing. Okay, so knowing that background, I went looking for a way that I could get rid of some of these ads that had become pretty annoying with a couple of minor games that I was doing, or even some other apps that I was using. And I'm going to share here. There is an app that I started using, and it is an app that I actually bought. I think it was $2, and it's called AdBlock. Okay, AdBlock is one of many. By the way, this is not anything new, right? There are tons of these services out there, but I would warn you that please do your research on these services. Some of them are they're ads themselves, or they are using your information in other ways. So you do want to do your research on these services. But let me explain really quickly what this does. So obviously, it's blocking ads. Its purpose is to block ads through Safari on your mobile device, as well as block ads through other apps that are allowing or going out and bringing ads in to be able to display to you. So as you can see here, this is the screen of the app. I have it on. As you can see right now, the big check mark means that it's running. If I were to swipe down, you'll see that it is going to stop. And it's saying, okay, now I'm not blocking ads anymore to your device. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. And I'm hoping this demonstration works. I'm going to slide back here to, let's see, where did I have the game? Okay, as I told you, actually, no, this is the wrong one. Let's do a different one. For those that can't see, I'm pulling up something called Block Puzzle, and this is a little puzzle game that I have played for a long time. And look what happens. Immediately when I open it up, I get an ad for Ultimate Golf, which is some sort of other app that it wants me to buy. And I have to click up there to skip the video. And I'm clicking and I'm still going and have to click an X and get off of it. And then it allows me to play the game. All right. And if I were to finish this game right now and it says, great, you just finished, it would have to play one or two more ads for me to go on to the next thing. All right. It becomes maddening after a while. You can even see an ad here at the bottom. All right. Now, if I go back to my ad block, which of course is not running right now, and I'm going to swipe up and tell it to start. Okay. So you can see it's running. Let's see if this actually works. All right. So now I'm coming back to the game. And I'm just going to quickly lose the game. For those that don't know, this is one of those games where you're trying to knock out blocks in a line, and therefore they remove themselves when you do, and you try to not have it kind of catch up with you. So I'm going to try to lose here real quick, which, it's tough sometimes. I can't even lose when I want to lose. All right.
Fair.
And eventually it's going to show me I can't make any more plays. Here we go. Okay, so I play one more right there. And you'll see now I've lost. Oh, yeah, it did. It played a video. Now, let me show you what happens though. So it did play an ad, okay, which is not supposed to happen. However, if I go back to my ad blocker, here's what the beauty of this thing is. You kind of have to train this thing a little bit. So I'm going to go to settings. And you'll see here that I have a DNS log, okay, which basically is saying it's going to log all of these things that are trying to pull information from my phone. I'm going to say show my DNS log, and look what's happening here. These are all the ads, and anything over there that has a little green icon to the right, those are ads that have been blocked, or at least attempts to get things onto my phone that have been blocked because of the ad blocker. You'll see that second one there was not blocked. And so what I can do is say that second one, I can click and go, oh, you know what? I'm going to create a rule on the top right that I want that to be blocked from here on. And you get to decide whether I block the full domain here, this Firebase logging -PA whatever, or I want the more broad Google APIS.com. I would not suggest, by the way, clicking on the .com, because of course that's going to block anything that has a .com, which is not what you want to do here. But I'm going to say the second one, I'm going to say done. And then what it's done is it's created a rule now. And that rule will allow any time that particular domain is attempting to come in and deliver either a new ad or something to my phone, it's going to block it, and I can go back and kind of continue to train it. The first couple times that I used this, I went to one of these games, played the game for a second, wait till the ads came up, went back over, saw what all had been coming in, and said, add a rule, went back, played a little bit, add another rule, and you'll see it kind of progressively started getting rid of some of these ads, which made my enjoyment of the game a lot better. Now, here's the tricky part, is that sometimes you don't know, when it has so many different attempts that are coming into your phone, sometimes you don't know whether it's good information that you actually want to maybe run the game, or whether it's information that's nefarious, right? That's coming in and doing some trying to sell you something or trying to give you information you don't want. So you do need to be aware that if you go and start adding rules and blocking things, and then you go back, let's say, to a game, or you go back to an app and you realize the app no longer works the way it was supposed to, then go over and try turning off the ad block. Go back to the app and make sure that it was that was causing it. It wasn't just the app having an issue itself. So this is kind of I'm giving it as a BITSS, a Brothers in Tech somewhat suggestion, because I do think that it's only for certain people that will want to try and use this. It is going to require a little bit of training of the app, but then also the beauty of it is I can always go and swipe it off and say, you know what? Okay, it caused something to not work effectively anymore. Maybe my Twitter is not working, so I'm just going to turn the ad block off to make sure that it's not keeping things from my actual daily use. So So that's going to be my second pick here. Bill, do you have any experience with kind of ad blockers, using them, not using them? Any advice at using or not using? Because I know you being from a help desk, you probably see things like this from bad uses of them as well as good uses.
Yeah. No, good for the fact to stuff out of the way that like sometimes not to click on.
Yeah.
On the services you're running, the nice thing off.
Yep.
And like that's the ad blocker will get in the way of some of your internet, and like depending on what you're doing, that could subscribe to a newsletter that like, or something that you actually enjoy that as well.
Yep.
So like you'll have
there's a give and take here, right? You gotta. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you get the control is better. Now, if it's something where it's dumb and you're anytime. Does anybody remember the movie? Yeah.
Say that again. Which one? Which one?
Terminator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back from the 80s.
Terminator. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. We let the computers make all the decisions. I'm just going to warn
problems. Yeah.
It's like,
well, actually, on that note, let me jump in, Bill, because you make a really good point that I probably should have brought up. One of the things that this ad blocker, and I'm sure all of them will do, is they'll give you kind of a suggested list of servers to block, right? So I could go in actually right now and say, here's a list, and it gives you several lists of like, here's Johnny's list of, DNS, to block, or Johnny, whatever's list, or the top, 100 list, and you can toggle those on and off. Again, you don't know what you're turning on and off, right? In terms of what they're actually blocking, you may find that things stop working the way they're supposed to. Now, usually if they're stopped working, it's things like you don't see a video that's supposed to be in the app, or you don't see some content that was supposed to show up, right? It's not usually going to brick any app. It's just going to be, you're going to be thinking, oh, wow, I'm missing some information, or I'm missing some content that's coming. And that's where you got to go back and you have to tweak it, maybe turn some things on and off, train it a little bit to only do ones that are really bad, right? And that's why I've gone with the manual piece to say, I'll use it once I see ads pop up when I'm doing anything and it's like, oh God, I can't believe this popped up. I'll go straight to the ad blocker, look at the log and see, there's 5 things that just went through that all of them maybe have ad in their name, or they have some, server that I know I don't want to be trusting. And I'll say, now block that one, go back and make sure that it doesn't disable anything, in a bad way. I did have a problem, which is kind of interesting. I love testing these things out, but so I mentioned Words with Friends. I was playing Words with Friends with someone, or at least I had played 2 words with 2 different people, and then kind of I went in last night and thought, oh wow, interesting. They hadn't played it. It had been 2 days or something, and that's fine. And then I was testing out this ad blocker again, turned it off, went back to the game and realized they had played. I had not gotten notifications on it. So it actually, something that I had blocked had actually changed the notification of the game to tell me, hey, it's your turn. So realize that's a problem, right? That completely changes the goal of what I was trying to accomplish. So as I said, it's a Brothers in Tech somewhat suggestion in that I do like being able to somehow navigate some of these ads that are trying to deliver me with information. But I also need to warn people that you can get yourself to where your app isn't working the way it's supposed to if you allow it to block too many things. So so that was my second one.
Now, is that one also Android?
That's a really good question, and I meant to check that beforehand, but I'll check that when you're going in just a minute. I thought it was. I thought it was one that was kind of been around a while, and I think they actually had, I had read some articles about it being cross-platform, but I'm not going to commit to that just yet.
Because that's really the benefit, is like no matter what, that does kind of, like being an IT person, it's always a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine. I mean, because if you're telling one person, hey, you're on iPhone, so I need you to use this, or you're on Android, I need you to go do this other thing, it's hard because you don't necessarily trust the multitude of apps that you have. I'm just looking really quickly. Ad block. Okay, so there's and be aware there's a couple of them, right? That are named similarly. Ad block. There's one that's a browser extension. There is one that is. Let's see, apps. It's on the Google Play Store. So it is kind of something that is going to be Android compatible as well, or at least they have a version of it. But with things like ad blockers, you'll notice that if you go and look up ad blockers, you'll see so many different variations of the word. You'll see ad dash block, you'll see ad space block, you'll see ad block all one word, you'll see blocker of ads, you'll see the ad blocker, right? I mean, it's something where you can tell several people want you to download, pay for their service, and it's not very good, and potentially may even take over your phone and have some issues. So do your research. If this is something that is really an issue, maybe you're playing a number of games or you have apps that you really love using for one particular reason, but you hate the number of ads that it brings in, you may want to take a look at it. It was $2, and I typically don't like things like this that are a one-time fee, because it means they're probably not going to update themselves effectively if I'm not paying them every month. But I also didn't want to jump in any services before I knew, what the use case would be. So that's a somewhat suggestion from me, and I'm hoping that if there's a need for it, that you'll do your research and see whether or not it works for you. All right, Bill. Now it's time for you to get your second one. You sent me a couple things. Is there one you want to go forth?
Let's go with the third one. So this would be the Apple One.
Excellent.
And the reason why I'm going to go with that one now is, like, for those of you who are excited about, like getting out there, but you still want to do something like games, and if you're in the Apple ecosystem, this has been one I put myself on. Basically, is it gives me access to Apple Music, paid, and it also a level of iCloud storage, so that like I can share more with my want. Go ahead and scroll down just because there's levels to it. And here's my basic individual is perfect. Like, it's got everything that you might need, streaming and entertainment bundle products.
So it's got music, TV, arcade, and some storage. Yep.
The storage piece is the so like I think the family an absolute ripoff.
Right.
There's no bytes of storage space. If you get the premium and get the fitness app and get the additional news app. Yeah.
Okay, so let me repeat that for you real quick here, Bill, because some of you were chopping up there a little bit. But so you were saying that individual is solid, because if you're looking for the specific, which is where most people are, right? They're looking for Apple Music and Apple TV, right? I mean, that's kind of that's the star of that, right? And then if you are into games, or if you're someone who likes to use those games and maybe not use free ones like I use and have to deal with the ads, then that's effective. So you were suggesting that family you think is probably a ripoff for, going another $5 to get some additional storage there.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's probably, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Worth it.
And then, but you think that the Premier, that's a pretty big jump up, right?
People own or have a gym member. Like a gym membership is at least $30. The Fitness Plus gives you outs and challenge thing. I have a different one that if you guys workout app that I think what this is, it gives you the most. The games in it come out of the App Store arcade family of things.
Yeah. So
you go.
So let me repeat some of that for you, Bill. So you're saying you think that fitness. So for people who are trying to maybe on that you have a gym membership. I can't imagine you're paying less than $30 a month, as you said, for a gym membership anyway. Some people paying quite a bit more for that. If you're someone that really just needs kind of the motivation to exercise at home, Fitness Plus is a great addition to that. I will say my experience with it, initially I was an early adopter of the Premier. I jumped up, tried it because I really wanted to try the Fitness Plus. My area of interest around fitness, I really wanted to see what that was all about. Early on, I was not impressed with it. However, lately I've looked back and actually am impressed with where they have a lot more options of classes that you can join. I love the fact that I think now you can actually do classes with someone else. So you could be, kind of joining your buddy who's across the country in the same class, right? But really you're able to communicate, but you're on this video class, which I think was absolutely what it needed to try to get people back engaged. I'm someone who, I don't particularly felt like I needed news. However, I have realized lately that more of my friends have news, and for some of you that are in my position that will get articles sent to you by friends, and then you click on the article and it's like, oh, this is in Apple News. Sorry, you don't have it. It is kind of nice to know that there's some really, really good content in Apple News right now. So if you're on that border of do I go from the individual to Premier, individual to family, and maybe fitness and news are two things that you feel like you'll take advantage of, then I think it's really appropriate. I mean, I'm with you, Bill. I'm not a service guy. I don't like to get on things that are going to cost me money every month because it feels like it's going to be there forever and just cost me a ton of cash. However, we've got two things that we've shared here today as services that I have. Apple One, I have the family, I believe that's where I am. But and then I have YouTube TV, and both of those I don't see myself getting rid of anytime soon because they both worked incredibly well. I see the value. It's been appropriate. So, I mean, it's funny. I'm not a big fan of services, but I'm starting to realize that there's a couple services I am wedded to, and so they did it. They sunk their claws into me, and I can't get away. So,
I think with the services, the key, they serve more than one need. Like, it doesn't need to just be for my TV watching. I have Apple Music. It's like having Spotify. Go myself like new albums or in my genres, and it just lets me listen to it. Spotify and you have it's good. It's downloading a lot of games. Yeah. And like with the ads, like the Apple Arcade is great. It has everything from your solitaire up to scrollers. It's like I said, the iCloud portion of it, for me, because like all it does is make sure that like my content without much issue. But
Right.
I
Right.
have other things that do that as well.
Yeah. No, I'm actually with you. One of the earlier bits that I think I gave in our show a couple of years ago was Google Photos. And so for me, I was backing all my photos up through Google Photos. It was free. I didn't have to pay for it. And then when people started saying, "Oh no, you need an iCloud account so that you can have your photos there," I was like, "Well, I don't need it. My photos are in a place that I can search for them. I'm good." What I have realized that some of the backup is effective if you do have, documents in multiple computers, multiple people kind of using the same thing. It is kind of nice to have one place to be able to do that. Now, can you do that with Dropbox? Can you do that with Drive? Can you do that with Box? Can you do these other things? Absolutely, right? Where Apple gets you, and of course the same thing goes with Google and with some of the other kind of big entities, is that they get you when they start to get connections and efficiency between a number of things, right? I mean, once you jump into part of the ecosystem, going full on into the ecosystem, you start to recognize some real efficiencies, and that's the beauty. Now, of course, it means you're stuck and you're not going to get out of it anytime soon. But I also think that the services like this, if, for example, if I'm using Apple One, and I have music available to me, and that's great. And I also then can share it to other people. And then I've got the Apple TV, and my news starts to get easier to share with other people and connect that way. And everything starts to flow a little better. And then I realize I have, storage that's backing me up across multiple devices. And, they really start to get you to where you feel as though you're most comfortable and you get fewer roadblocks, by being all in. And certainly the Apple One service is like that, right? It allows you to be all in so that you have everything at your disposal. I mean, Bill, just really quickly before we'll start to wind down here in a minute, but what are your thoughts about the future of something like Apple One? Do you feel like it's going to get more expensive, or do you feel like when more people get on it, or do you feel like it'll be something where they'll continue to, kind of shift new things in one of the other options, right?
Yeah. So what I'd see with Apple One is probably it's only going to get more expensive features or services you want. So it'll probably be more of an a la carte type. Add fitness in with my plan. Add this. Think about CarPlay. Right.
Right.
If the electric future CarPlay may be that thing where all of a sudden it's like more to it. Like you get a esque thing that is Apple. You get streaming services like in through Apple's music. So
you're seeing the fact that potentially that Apple One may just become more and more valuable as time goes on. When you get more of the ecosystem, you get an Apple Car, you get an Apple Apple CarPlay, you get other services that are all kind of built in, and you start realizing, it's just so much easier to add on this a la carte extra piece, because rather than start a brand new service, it may not work with everything else I'm doing, right?
And because it runs through iTunes,
right?
And you like adding is simple,
right?
Because it's in one plan across like 5 or 6 different things. The Google and the Android systems, those two. Yeah, it's just that it keeps this as like a tight, efficient thing on it as much as they need people to believe in it. So
Yep. No, I'm with you. I think that once they start to get, we talked about this before actually when the previous host was with us. We would talk about the fact that why was Apple TV so cheap, and actually they were giving it away initially, right? Pretty much anybody who bought a phone, okay, you had a year of it. Oh, if you bought something else, you had another year of it. Well, it seemed like they were doing that because they weren't ready to. They didn't feel like their service was strong enough to stand on its own yet. But yet, when they added it as part of a bundle, everybody's like, "Oh, well, that makes sense, right? I'll do that." Same thing with fitness. It's like, "Hey, add it to your bundle, and then hopefully you'll see the value of it, and then we'll start to make this thing, potentially a la carte in the future." And I would love it if it was a la carte. Although I could see Apple seeing the benefit of not allowing you just to pick and choose, because they really do want you to do it all together, because it just makes your experience better. Even though you're going to be paying more, they're thinking it's going to make you so much better. So Bill, I do have to show you, or I have to show the audience here. Here's a comment that just came in while we were talking, and I can see how this would work. I like all of Bill's suggestions. They were so much better than the other guys. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking that maybe Alan is somewhere out there, or people really do believe that you're the one here, Bill. So maybe next week, Bill, Alan and I both are gonna step out, and we'll let you actually jump in and just run the show. Right? We're gonna have to fix your audio, but
I will make the audio work better.
Okay. If you're running things, you'll figure out a way to make it better. Some people may actually say that maybe I sabotaged your audio just to make sure I sounded much better today, but that I can promise you was not the case.
No, a bit of Scotch tape on my microphone. An issue today.
Oh, is that what it is? You got some tape on there, Make it sound like things are poor. Gotcha. But Alan, congratulations. You got Bill to succumb and say that he was worth today. But no, I think we did a pretty good job with the bits. I have to say I like rank order them. I would say YouTube TV and Apple One. I mean, those are just fantastic services. I think they're both really, really good. I think they're no-brainers. I think they've both been brought up as bits before, but they're also both continuing to get better, which I think is one of those things that we need to continue to bring them back. I love the Anker battery charger. That's fantastic. You may have one with that one. You may actually have caused me to go and spend some money soon, which I'm not appreciative of, but I'm sure I'll be appreciative of the product. And then the ad blocker. Yeah, the ad blocker, like I said, it's a BITSS, right? So with caution, and do be careful if you end up using that. So, but this was good. This was good, Bill. I mean, I'm sorry we had some audio issues as we went along, but I'm sure people kind of got the gist of what we were doing, and know that technology is not always easy. I do love the fact that you are the first one that came in outdoors, and that is pretty cool. Even if the tech didn't work quite where it is, it was worth the effort. It was worth the gamble, to be outdoors.
Well, when it comes to the fall, understand the time you can when the sun shines, because it goes away.
There you go. So coming from a true Oregonian there, right? Coming from an Oregonian, you take advantage of outdoors when you have outdoors, because how long you're going to have it, you don't know. So that's great. Well, listen, I think it's time for us to wrap up here. So, gosh, this means I actually have to do tech work here. There's a lot of steps here that I don't know, so bear with me. What I will say initially is if anyone has any suggestions that they would like to bring forward and say, you guys ought to use this as bits in the future, I am not against stealing bits from anybody. So if you give me something that works, and I can claim it as my own, I'll even give you maybe a little credit, but I'll certainly be claiming it as my own. Please email us at info@themesh.tv. You can tell us the ideas you have for future episodes, or if there's some topics that you would love to see us talk about, or new products that you think we ought to know about, please let us know. You can also go to our website at www.brothers-in-tech.com, and you can see previous episodes. You can go back and see Bill's old episode that he was with us several weeks back, where we talked about let's see, scams, right? How not to get scammed,
Yeah,
which
phishing.
was, I think, incredibly beneficial. Yeah. And I've had scam attempts since then, trying to sell some things online. So if you have had that concern and would like some advice on that, go back and listen to our episode on scam avoidance, and you'll be able to hear Bill a lot better on that one, because he was indoors and not
And
destroying the audio to make me look bad. So. And but you can go and you can also contact us through the website. So what I would say is, for Bill, thank you for being here again. We got the payoff this time, right? You got to be a part of the show, and then we also like to give people the payoff of bringing them in for a bits episode. So thanks for doing that. And now I'm going to talk very, very slowly as I figure out how to actually end the show. Okay, I think I'm just going to press this, and I will say to everyone, bye-bye.